My name is Cameron Omega, and I'm a painter from Fort Wayne, Indiana. The way I used to draw, especially from like all the way back when I was in middle school, I would kind of start with squiggly lines. At one point I did the squiggly lines just to start, but I liked the way it looked just as it was, kind of this free form, not a defined thing. So I kept going. Music is the closest thing I have to a religious practice. When I paint, I'll usually have one song. Even if it's a 4-hour painting session, I'm listening to that one song on a loop all the way through. It helps me focus and stay in the moment, even though you would think it would be a distraction. For me, it's clarity. The starting and finishing one setting is because I wanted to capture that mood of that particular day. That's what I was feeling and saw that day. And then I can't go back to that moment. I kind of like freezing that moment as it is. I don't necessarily always like a lot of things around. It makes me anxious. It gives me too many things to focus on. I want one blue. So if you know you need a shade of that blue, you know the blue you have to start from. The thinking portions have already been done. The sketch is drawn. Now you're to the painting. You're to the performance. Once you start, you can't stop. It's too late. I'm kind of a moody person. It affects my work and how I decide which line work to go with, pick my colors. This is a one-time experience, and I don't want to mess up that experience by adding another experience on top of it that maybe isn't congruent with it. I still feel like there's a mystique to painting. There's something important in the process of doing a painting. All of this stuff is ultimately translation. What's in my head isn't necessarily going to translate directly to the physical thing. There's going to be translation errors, but also there's stuff that's gained in that translation too. The lines are the most important part for me. They're like the solo in a song. Even though people see the colors and the pretty thing, the solo is right there. It's living on top of everything. Everything else is like a bed for the line work to lay on. That's why it's always very central in the paintings. I guess initially it was just kind of like natural, unthinking, like feeling like, oh, I'm just kind of doing these things. Then it kind of ultimately turned into how I think. My thought process kind of works in tangents that can wrap around into themselves. If you look at a lot of the paintings, all the lines they complete, art is about feeling, a human feeling. If you come to a show and you look at the work, I hope that you feel something, anything. I want you to experience, to feel, and have the experience of feeling.